Hello, friends. Intuitive Rene here, bringing you tarot scopes for the month of June 2022. June is here. It has arrived, and I hope you have survived this far. It's been a crazy year. I want to use the word whirlwind, but I don't want to actually use that word because it's such a horrible one. But it has been one of those years, hasn't it? Just when we think we get a handle on things, just when we think things are okay, something happens and we completely shifted off course again. So I think it's another reason why these tarot scopes are proving to be ever so popular. Last month, I think you all really enjoyed your tarot scopes. I had terrible audio last month, and I do apologize for that. But I assure you those problems are fixed and resolved, and we will have no audio problems going forward. So we're recording June 2022 tarot scopes. If this is the first time that you are looking at tarot scopes or watching tarot scopes with me, welcome. Let me just explain to you how it works so that you have an idea of what you've actually what's in store for you with the next couple of minutes. So I record one intro video, that's this one. So every single of the 12 tarot scopes that I do all get the same intro added in front of the video. Then I turn the camera around so that you're looking straight at the table, and I do the reading from there. So you don't get to see my face during the reading. Not important at that point. What's important is the cards. So we switch the camera around so that you get the hands down top version of the table so that you can see the cards that we do. The reading that I'm going to do for you is the same format or layout as what I did last month in May. Because I just thought it gave us so much. There was just so much information there, and relevant, appropriate information, and not, not light-hearted stuff. It was like real. And I thought that was quite good. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to stick to the same format. The only difference that I'm doing this month are the cards that I'm working with, and I've also added in another set of cards. So we're going to start off with the main tarot deck that I'm going to work with this time around is this beautiful Meraki Tarot is what it's called. Meraki Tarot has just finished off its second Kickstarter, which means edition 2, version 2 or second edition is coming out at the end of the year. I am so excited to get my hands on that. I love my Meraki Tarot. So we're going to be using that one this month. I am partnering or pairing it with Oracle decks, and I have got the Divine Energy Oracle by Sonia, and I am also using the Angels and Ancestors Oracle by Kyle Gray. So I think with all of these, we're going to get really awesome readings, awesome messages. So the idea behind the tarot scopes is that I record 12 separate individual readings, one for each sign of the zodiac. So starting at Aries, going all the way through to Pisces and covering everybody in between. Before I start the recording, I do set the intention that it be appropriate or relevant for your sun, moon, and rising. So if you know a little bit about your astrology and you know what your moon sign is and you know what your rising sign is, if you watch those videos as well, it will give you a little bit more insight. I encourage you as well to watch the video for your family and friends. So if you want to know what's going on with your partner, if you want to know what's going on with anybody, in your life, you can check out their tarot scope as well to get a bit of insight into what they're dealing with. Because sometimes what I've noticed is if you're aware of what other people are going through, and if you're mindful of what's happening in their lives, you adjust your reaction or your response to them appropriately, which means communication gets easier, which means connection gets easier, which means relationship is easier. And so sometimes it's nice to know what kind of stuff the other person is going through, so that you understand yourself and you understand everybody else around you. And when we do that, we work in synergy with each other. And I think that's so important. If you want to know how to jump around, the way that I do it on YouTube is I do create a playlist. So there will be a June 2022 playlist that will have all 12 videos in it. But if you open up the little description below, I will have the links to each of the 12 videos in the description below. So it makes it easy for you to navigate and jump around. These videos are free, they are public, they are open to everybody. All I ask from you is, if you do enjoy the content, to give the video a thumbs up. A comment is always appreciated, and if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. When you do that, subscribe to the channel and push the like button and comment, you're basically helping my channel grow on YouTube. You're helping to let YouTube know that, my content is not so bad, and that maybe YouTube should recommend me to other people. So if you want to help me, subscribe, like, and comment on the channel. And for those of you who have found the new, what they call super thanks feature and have used it, thank you. I'm so appreciative of the donations. I'm so appreciative of the show of support. It's not necessary for anybody to do, but I do appreciate everybody who has used the feature. It's a new feature on YouTube. It's only been on my channel for a couple of weeks, and I've already had quite a few people show their appreciation and their gratitude by dropping a little super thanks in the box, and I do appreciate every single one of you. So we're going to turn the camera around. We're going to get started off. And I look forward to seeing what May 2022 has in store for you. All right, Cancerians, let's get into your reading and see what the month of June 2022 has in store for you. I have got the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray here in front of me. We're going to start off taking a card from this deck, sort of just to set the tone, if I can call it, of the reading. I did shuffle the cards before I started recording your segment, but I do like to shuffle while I have you here with me on camera, just for transparency, right? So giving the cards a little shuffle and cutting the deck over there, taking the card off the top. Right, let's have a look. Message from the Angels and Ancestors, setting the tone for Cancerian reading for the month of June 2022. Let's have a look. We have got the Protection Guardian telling you to drop your shields. Now, immediately when I read Protection Guardian, I immediately thought of putting on the protection, making the protection more, invoking the protection, increasing the protection. But then we read the little key phrase and it tells you to drop your shields. In other words, it's letting you know that you are protected. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to put on the protection, because you need to trust your Protection Guardian to take care of you, to have your back. And dropping your shields, exposing your vulnerability. Look at what she's done. She's dropped her shield here. She's exposed her most vulnerable, being her heart. She is showing transparency and openness, and she is showing willingness to engage and interact with another person. So I think setting the tone for the reading, I think that is actually quite a good card. Here I have the tarot deck, and we're just going to give that a shuffle as well. And lay the cards out. But while I'm shuffling and laying the cards out, just to continue talking about Protection Guardian, Cancerians, one of the things that comes through to me quite strongly is the fact that we need to start trusting and we need to start believing in spirit. Because we are very spiritual beings, aren't we? Every single one of us. We are incredibly spiritual beings. We believe in the power of spirit. We believe in angels. We believe in, a higher being of some kind. But the thing is, we believe, yes, but we don't trust. And I think Protection Guardian's message for you Cancerians is that during the month of June, it's important that you drop your shields to let spirit in, to let people in, to recognize that you don't have to be the one doing, offering, and being the protector all the time, and that it's actually okay to get yourself into a position where you recognize and acknowledge how protected you truly are. So dropping your shields is when we have our protection up all the time, when we are so guarded and so protected all the time, it's almost like we keep people at arm's length. It's almost like we don't let anybody in. And we're not talking about physical danger here. We're talking about spiritual, emotional, mental kind of connections and kind of situations. And I think your Protection Guardian is basically saying to you, drop your shields, expose your vulnerability, and allow people to connect with you, allow spirit to connect with you on whatever level is you need in your life right now. All right, so Cancerians, I have laid out and shuffled and laid out 9 cards. This is going to be the bulk of our reading. I have left a space over here because just off camera I have another deck which we're going to draw from at the end of the reading, and that card will go into this position. So in the meantime, it's going to sit empty. All right, I need to just adjust the camera 1 second. I hope that's a bit better. All right, so Cancerians, we're going to start looking at this card over here. The way that I like to do these month ahead readings is I like to start off looking at your energy as the month of June starts. So as the 1st of June comes around, who are you? What are you? What is the energy around you? Let's have a look and see. So you start the month off. How fabulous is that? We've got the Sun card. The Sun card is the card of happiness, the card of joy, the card of success, the card of abundance, all of those kind of good things. And this is saying that as the month of June starts, you step into the month feeling confident, feeling quite sure of yourself, feeling quite good, feeling quite powerful, feeling quite optimistic even around your circumstances and life in general, which I think is a really good thing. We want to be feeling that way. So you're certainly not starting the month off in a negative. You're certainly starting the month off in a very strong, positive frame of mind. And if we start the month that way, things can only get better. Things can only get better. But I am going to say to you, Cancerians, that we need to remember to drop our shield. So even though we're feeling positive, even though we're feeling strong, even though we're feeling confident as we're getting from the Sun card, we're starting the month off that way, we still need to show our vulnerability. We still need to drop our guards, drop our shields, and trust that Spirit of God us our back and will take care of us and look after us wherever we need. Doesn't mean we can be silly though. Doesn't mean we can be reckless. And I don't believe that Cancerian energy is capable of being silly and reckless. But just know that you're coming into the month feeling strong, feeling confident. Our next card that we have is going to show us basically the theme for the month ahead. So let's have a look, Cancerians, and let's see what does the month of June 2022 have in store for you. And we've got the Lovers card, which is so beautiful. There you can see the two hearts, the yin and yang of the two hearts sitting underneath the lemon tree. And the Lovers card is about choices and options, but it's also about dropping that shield and being vulnerable and exposing your truth, exposing your sweet nectar of life. And the Lovers card in tarot is the card that says to you, recognize the yin to your yang. Recognize, that you feel better, you feel more complete when you share your life with somebody. But it's also about the consequences of choices, because life is full of choices. Every single day we are faced with a gazillion amount of choices. And depending on the choice that you go for, depending on what you choose as to the way your life unfolds. Again, bringing it back to the protection guardian, this is basically saying that you are going to have many choices. And depending on the options that you choose, the whole idea here is to improve your life. The whole idea here is to make life easier, better, happier for yourself. So you are going to have some decisions and choices to make, but it's more about the consequences of those that we need to be mindful of. So the actual decision-making process is not in question here, but it is the consequences of your choices and decisions, and recognizing that you are striving for union, for connection, for almost that mutual kind of happiness that we have when we have found somebody significant in our life. It doesn't only reference relationships. So if you are already in a committed relationship or absolutely not looking for a relationship, the Lovers card would then be signifying the union or the connection between you and other people that brings you a sense of happiness, that brings you a sense of joy. Next card. Let's have a look, Cancerians. What is something that you will accomplish during the month of June, or something that you must accomplish during the month of June? Magician. So we've got 3 major arcana cards in a row. Cancerians, immediately this tells me, we haven't even seen the rest of them, but so far June is looking incredibly significant. Now we do know that Cancerian season starts in June. We do know that, but it's towards the end of the month. But that is telling you that before we get to birthday season, you've got a lot that you need to do. You've got a lot of changes that need to be made. You've got a lot of decisions that need to be made. The Magician is the card that says you are in control. If we have a look here, it looks like we have a snake that's eating itself, or is it? We've got this one going that way and there, and this one, yeah, I don't know. It looks like the snake is basically eating itself. And then we have this eye in the middle. We have all these beautiful crystals floating around the other outside as well. The Magician is the card that says you are in control, that you are the master of your own destiny, that you are the one who makes decisions, as we've said over there, that you are the one that is in control of what comes up next for you. And as something that you will accomplish, I think this is confirming the way that I interpreted the Lover's card around consequences of decisions and choices. This is Spirit saying, trust us, we're helping you, we've got your back. You need to drop your shield, you need to show your vulnerability and allow those vulnerabilities to assist you in making decisions, even though you're feeling super confident, okay? Even though you're feeling super confident and super like you've got this under control, bring us in, let us guide and help you, because the decisions, choices, and behaviors that are coming through for you for the month are fairly significant. Fairly significant. All right. These two cards to me are probably the most important cards in this whole reading, because they're the ones that sort of, if I can say, bring everything together. And Cancerians, what we're looking at with these two cards is something that you absolutely need to avoid during the month of June, and something that you need to absolutely embrace during the month of June. Considering we know now that our theme and the things that you will accomplish have got to do with choices, decisions, and behaviors, let's have a look. What should you be avoiding at all costs during the month of June? And we have another major arcana card. Oh my word, Cancerians. Big stuff happening for you. We have got the card of justice. What you should be avoiding is doing things incorrectly, doing the wrong things. You know, there's a fine line between truth and dishonesty. There's a fine line between right and wrong, and this is the line. This is the line. Here we have the sword of truth going right up through the center. We can see we have the scales on either side. This scale has got something dark in it, and this scale has got something light in it, because that is life. It's that balance between light and dark, the balance between day and night, the balance between right and wrong, and the balance between all of those yin and yang energies. Remember when we looked at the Lover's card, I immediately noticed the yin and yang heart that we had there, two halves of a heart coming together to create perfection. So something to avoid is crossing a line. That's how I'm interpreting this, Cancerians. Avoid at all costs. So if there's I'm going to call it a slightly gray area, if there's a slight area we think, well, maybe I can get away with it, don't take that chance. All right? We are being vulnerable. We are dropping our shields and we are being vulnerable. We are exposing our vulnerabilities. So if you take a gamble, if you take a chance, if you cross a line, it's probably not going to go well for you. Remember, I was saying with the Lover's card, it's about your consequences of your actions, consequences of your choices. So that line is such a fine line. And, you know, one step in either direction and you're in a completely different universe, a whole different environment. Don't. Avoid at all costs, okay? Don't do it. At all costs, avoid stepping over the wrong line. Stick within your lane, Cancerians, during the month, because you are vulnerable. You are dropping your shields. There are some tough decisions. You are the master of your own destiny. So avoid going in the wrong direction at all costs. Let's see what you should be embracing this month. And so far, we have got 4 majors. Let's see what comes through with this one. What is something that you absolutely need to embrace during the month of June 2022? We've broken the cycle. We now have a non-major arcana card. We have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords, you can see if you look at this card, there just seems to be movement. There seems to be energy. This a huge butterfly that we're seeing here, there seems to be this kind of swoosh of energy, swoosh of movement. And it's carrying this sword, it's carrying this pin or this sword, and it's ready to do whatever it needs to do. Knight of Swords is about swift, fast, quick action and movement, changes, choices, and decisions, but also recognizing that you are very capable of making changes, of doing what you need to do, and that you don't really need any support. You on your own are force enough. So embrace this. We're coming into the month feeling quite confident. We've got our protection guardian reminding us that they are there for us, that they are supporting us, helping us, and guiding us wherever we need it, telling you to drop your shield so you can tackle. That's what I'm getting from Knight of Swords. You can tackle anything that you need to this month with confidence, with vigor, with energy, with enthusiasm, and you will have success. Don't overthink things, all right? And I know Cancerians, I know we like to think, I know we like to ponder, I know we like to strategize, and we like to sleep on it, okay? Those are the words that I hear in my head. Let me sleep on it and I'll tell you tomorrow. Embrace the Knight of Swords, and that's telling you no sleeping on it. Trust yourself. Drop those shields. Trust yourself. Trust your initial response. Trust your initial reaction, your initial thoughts, your initial desires. Trust them. That's what Knight of Swords is telling you. Knight of Swords is not saying, sit down and make a plan and sleep on it and consult an expert. No. Knight of Swords is saying, go. Trust your instincts. Trust yourself. Trust your initial reactions, that you know what it is you're doing. When you start overthinking and over questioning and over analyzing, suddenly our justice scale shifts in the wrong direction. But when you trust your intuition, when you trust yourself, when you trust your own gut instincts, you will make the right decisions to bring about the right changes, and you will be completely safe. Loving that. Right, so Cancerians, we're coming down the bottom here now. And this next card, so we've looking at the 5 that we have already. We've looked at who you are at the beginning of the month. We've looked at your theme for the month. We've looked at what you will accomplish, what you need to avoid, and what you need to embrace. Now we're going to look at a potential obstacle that you may have to overcome. So when we avoid something, we don't have to deal with it. We're just going to go around it, okay? We're going to scoot around the situation. But this obstacle can't be scooted around. This is an obstacle that you may have to overcome, that you may have to resolve. Let's have a look. We have got the 5 of Cups. It's the card of disappointment, okay? It's as simple as that. I don't know how else to say it. The 5 of Cups is the card of disappointment. So you're going to find yourself being disappointed. And you know what? It may not be in the outcome of a situation. It may be in people's reaction. It may be in how people support you. It may be disappointment in how people step up to the plate when you're facing or dealing with or navigating whatever it is. That is where the disappointment is coming from. The disappointment is not about your efforts. The disappointment is not about what you do or don't do, or how that turns out. The disappointment is how the people around you respond to your circumstances. And I'm saying that because of our protection guardian. And when I look at all the cards that we have here, the disappointment does not come about because of you. The disappointment comes about because when you need other people to support you, to be there for you, to offer a hand, to offer guidance, to rally behind you, they've disappeared. So the disappointment, the obstacle that you may need to overcome, is disappointment in other people, in people's reactions, people's response, and people's support of you and whatever you're going through. That is not going to be there. So that is something that you're going to have to work through during the month of June. Now that we've identified that people are not going to be there for you, that the support that you need, the support that you're going to rely on, that is going to disappoint you, is not going to be there, this is the card of what support is available to you. So let's have a look, Cancerians, what support is actually going to be available to you during the month. And we have the 7 of Cups. And I love that, because the 7 of Cups is giving you options and choices. The 7 of Cups is saying every single cup contains something different. Every single cup has a particular energy, essence, magic in it, and you have access to it all. You have access to every single one of them. So you do have choices. So when the disappointment comes, when people let you down and betray you and hurt you and disappoint you, as we have here, instead of getting worked up in that, I think this is Spirit saying to you, it's okay. Let those people move on. Let those people go away, because your true support, the other people that are in your life that love you unconditionally, that support you, your true protection guardians, will show themselves, will reveal themselves, and you will know who absolutely has your back and who you can rely on and who you can't. Good. We have 2 cards left, and these 2 tarot cards, we are still going to draw an oracle as well, but these 2 tarot cards is an action that you need to implement, or that you need to trigger, that you need to start, and advice from Spirit. So let's have a look at what needs to be put into motion or put into action during the month of June, Cancerians, and we have the beautiful Queen of Swords. I love her. I love her. She looks so regal. She looks so comfortable. She looks so confident and comfortable, and like, I don't know if I will sit with her and tell her about my aches and pains, because I don't think she's going to care, but I would certainly love to have a detailed conversation with her about life, people, situations. She seems to be knowledgeable. She seems to have such a deep understanding, and let me tell you, Queen of Swords takes no nonsense. She is caring, but she's more logical than she is nurturing. Queen of Swords energy is somebody who says, you know what, this is what needs to take place. If you've got feelings about it, that's okay. I respect and I honor your feelings, but can we deal with them later? Let's get this done, and then we'll deal with your feelings at a later stage. That's Queen of Swords energy. And this is who you need to be. This is the action of how you handle the disappointment, how you handle the decisions, how you handle the staying on the right road and not deviating from course. The action for you, Cancerians, is being that Queen of Swords energy, where you turn around to people and say, hold a second, this is the matter we're dealing with now. Everything else is tabled. Everything else gets put aside. I'm not dealing with that now. We deal with things as per the agenda. We deal by things in a logical, systematic process. We don't let things jump the queue. Let's be logical. And she navigates the logic. She navigates the understanding. She navigates the difference between right and wrong and that ever so slight deviation. So Cancerians, Queen of Swords is telling you during the month of June, this is who you need to be. You need to embrace your inner Queen of Swords. You need to let her come out. You need to let her help you navigate the disappointment, the choices, the results of your choices, and what it is that you manifest for yourself, and that very fine line between right and wrong. And our last tarot card is just any additional advice from Spirit. So let's have a look, Cancerians, additional advice that Spirit have for you during the month of June. And we have got the Moon card, and I think that is so interesting because the Moon card is another major arcana. So out of our 9 cards that we've drawn, 5 of them are major arcana cards, which is quite big. The Moon card is the card of intuition, but it is also the card of facing your fears, recognizing that everything looks different in the moonlight. Just as you think you've got a handle on things, a shadow will cast over it and suddenly everything looks differently. The Moon card is about recognizing that there is a long journey, there is a long road ahead, and it's a scary road that we don't necessarily know what is in store for us, but we will face it. We will face it head on. We will be strong, brave, and confident, and we will overcome any and all insecurities that may crop up. So Spirit is saying your protection guardian has got your back, even though you may be nervous, afraid, and scared of what it is that you're dealing with for the month. Just know that you're going to be okay. That, we'll shed some light on the situation, we'll illuminate the situation, and we will get some clarity and understanding, and you will actually be absolutely fine. Cancerians, so we now have the final oracle deck that I want to use. This is called the Divine Energy Oracle. And again, I did shuffle before I started the recording, but I do like to shuffle on camera. And we're looking for just a single card. Now, these cards don't have images. They just really have a key phrase on them. So just anything else that Spirit needs you to know, anything else that Spirit want to confirm or affirm for the month of June for all of you Cancerian energies. Let's see. I'm happy with that shuffle. Let's cut the deck and grab. That didn't feel right. That feels good. Taking that card over there. So let's have a look and see what do we have from the Divine Energy Oracle for Cancerians. You see, strengthen your gifts, strengthen your intuition, because and I think that is such a key phrase, because when we spoke about the Lover's card, and I was saying to you, it's about the connections that you have with other people, with significant people, but it's also about recognizing consequences of decisions, consequences of actions, that you are very much in control and that you are the one guiding this. And we brought up quite a few times trusting your intuition, trusting, even though you're vulnerable, even though you're exposed, trusting your own inner guidance, your own inner intuition. And this is how you strengthen your gifts of right and wrong, your gifts of what choices you have available to you, and of the way that you want to live your life. Because to me, Cancerians, out of all of this, the thing that I want you to take away from this is that you have choices and options on how you live your life. You do not have to live your life by somebody else's standard, by somebody else's expectation, by somebody else's thought process. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to strengthen your own gifts, your own intuition, your own belief system, your own moral system, and you've got to do what's right for you and not worry about what anybody else says around that. And if you can do that, and if you can drop your shield and understand and know that you are still safe, and make wise choices and wise decisions for yourself. Let go of the people who disappoint you. Make the changes that need to be made. You know what? You're going to have an amazing, fabulous, wonderful month of June 2022. So Cancerians, thank you for being with me. As always, love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.